You're welcome to our channel. Keep liking. Make sure you give us your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Tinubu's state of emergencies in Rivers is unconstitutional. Who said so? Nigerian Bar Association. The Nigerian Bar Association has condemned the state of emergency declared in Rivers State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes, in a statement that was signed by the President of Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Afam Osigwe, the Nigerian Bar Association has taken due notice of the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as contained in the address to the nation today, 18th March, that was 18th March of 2025. This declaration, according to President, is due to the prevailing political tension in the state and due to the vandalization of pipelines between yesterday and today. This development has far-reaching constitutional and democratic implications, particularly in light of the provisions of Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, which governs the procedure for the proclamation of a state of emergency and which the president purported to have relied upon. Section 305 of the Constitution indeed vests the President with the power to declare a state of emergency. The section stipulates strict conditions and procedural safeguards that must be followed to ensure that such extraordinary measures do not infringe on democratic governance and fundamental human rights. The NBA is gravely concerned about the purported suspension by the President of the governors of Rivers State, the deputy governor, and the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly for 6 months. The 1999 Constitution does not grant the president any power to remove the elected governor, deputy governor, or members of a state's legislature under the guise of a state of emergency. Rather, the Constitution provides clear procedures for the removal of a governor, a deputy governor, as per Section 188. Similarly, the removal of members of the House of Assembly and dissolution of Parliament is governed by constitutional provisions and electoral laws, none of which appear to have been adhered to in the present circumstances. A declaration of emergency does not automatically dissolve or suspend elected state governments. The Constitution does not empower the President to unilaterally remove or replace elected officials. Such actions amount to an unconstitutional usurpation of power and a fundamental breach of Nigeria's federal structure. The NBA firmly asserts that the situation in Rivers State, though politically tense, does not meet the constitutional threshold for the removal of elected officials. For a state of emergency to be declared, Section 305 Section 3 of the Constitution outlines specific conditions, including number one, war or external aggression against Nigeria. Number two, imminent danger of invasion or war. Number three, a breakdown of public order and safety to such an extent that ordinary legal measures are insufficient. Number Number four, a clear danger to Nigeria's existence. Number five, occurrence of any disaster or natural calamity affecting a state or a part of it. Number six, such other public danger that constitutes a threat to the federation. The NBA questions whether the political crisis in Rivers State has reached the level of a complete breakdown of law and order, warranting the removal of the governor and its administration. Political disagreements, legislative conflicts, or executive legislative tensions do not constitute a justification for emergency rule. Such conflicts should be resolved through legal and constitutional mechanisms, including the judiciary, rather than executive fiat. The purported removal of Governor Fubara, his deputy, and members of the Rivers State House of Assembly is therefore unconstitutional, unlawful, and a dangerous affront to our nation's democracy. Furthermore, subsection 2 of section 305 provides that a proclamation issued by the president under this section shall cease to have effect. A. if it is not approved by a resolution of the National Assembly within 2 days when the National Assembly is in session, or b. if the National Assembly is not in session within 10 days after it reconvenes. These provisions provide that a state of emergency declared by the President does not assume automatic validity. It requires legislative ratification within a defined time frame to remain in effect. The NBA therefore emphasizes that unless the National Assembly duly approves the proclamation, the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State remains constitutionally in chaos and ineffective. In light of the foregoing, the Nigerian Bar Association affirms that the president does not have the constitutional power to remove an elected governor under a state of emergency. Any such action is an unconstitutional encroachment on democratic governance and the autonomy of the state government. Number two, calls on the National Assembly to reject any unconstitutional attempt to ratify the removal of the Rivers State governor and other elected officials. The approval of a state of emergency must be based on strict constitutional grounds, not political expediencies. Number three, once that suspending elected officials under emergency rules sets a dangerous precedent that undermines democracy and could be misused to unseat elected governments in future. 5. Demands that all actions taken in Rivers State strictly conform to constitutional provisions and Nigeria's democratic norms. And 6. Encouraging all stakeholders, including the judiciary, civil society, and the international community, to close monitor the situation in Rivers State to prevent constitutional governance and abuse of power. And that's prevent unconstitutional governance and abuse of power. The NBA remains committed to upholding the Constitution, defending democratic governance, and ensuring that the rule of law prevails in Nigeria. A state of emergency is an extraordinary measure that must be invoked strictly within constitutional limits. The removal of elected officials under the pretext of emergency rule is unconstitutional and unacceptable. We call on all relevant authorities to act in accordance with the law and the best interests of the country. Nigeria's democracy must be protected at all costs, and the Constitution must be upheld. It has the supreme legal authority in all circumstances. Well, that was the submission of the Nigerian Bar Association concerning the action of the president in declaring the state of emergency in Rivers State. Of course, more people will continue to bring in their own understanding on the situation. Let's keep our fingers crossed and let's see the outcome at the end of the day. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, and share. God bless.